Today we are learning how to draw beautiful cherry blossoms. By the way, my name is Jay and I will be your art teacher for today and hopefully also tomorrow. So grab the free worksheet. It's completely free, print it out if you can, or load it up on a phone screen or computer screen to copy from. I will recommend using a pencil and eraser for this if you are working traditionally. If you are working digitally, then use whatever tools you have. To start, let's practice drawing some basic flower petals. Their shape is wider and more rounded toward the outside. They come to a sharper point towards the center of the flower. Copy from the examples. Don't worry about making exact copies here. It's much more important to understand the overall concepts. This way you can draw these on your own. My goal with this tutorial is for you to be able to draw cherry blossoms in your sketchbook. And that really depends on you understanding the core concepts rather than being able to copy perfectly. So don't worry too much about making exact copies of the examples. Worry a little bit more about understanding the overall concept, getting used to drawing curved lines or straight lines, just having a better understanding of how to do this on your own. We can also draw these stylized cherry blossom petals by cutting out a triangle shape from the outer rim of the petal. This type of design is common in animation, but it's up to your personal preference. You want to keep drawing this style of flower petals. Copy from the examples and don't be shy about using an eraser. Making mistakes is an important part of the learning process. Before moving on to page 2, draw some of your own in your sketchbook. Keep practicing these petals until the shapes feel natural to you, and then move on to page 2. On page 2, we can draw 5 of these flower petals together to get a complete flower. To do this, we will use a circular guideline and a dot in the middle to plan out our flower. To learn more about guidelines, check out my flower course over on jrom.art, link in the description. But the basic concept is on the worksheet. The guideline will help us visualize what we want to draw. Copy from the worksheet, and don't be shy about erasing. Once you finish this worksheet, make sure to explore it in your sketchbook and don't be too strict with yourself. Learn to have fun. Drawing such a free art form with very little restrictions, so let's take advantage of that fun and really play around. Remember that making mistakes doesn't really matter and it's part of the learning process, so make tons of mistakes and have fun with it. Laugh at the mistakes that you make and just enjoy the process. I know that's kind of hard to do in the beginning. You might be holding yourself to a very high standard, but just relax those expectations for a second and try to enjoy the process. To draw the frilly bits in the middle of the cherry blossom, we will draw thin stems that have small bulbs at the top. Feel free to play with the density and number of frills when drawing on your own. Copy from the examples on the worksheet. Then draw some flowers with these frilly bits in your sketchbook. Yet again, personal preference is important here. Some artists will draw very few of the frilly bits or draw them very thin, while others will draw them quite big. Experiment to see what you prefer. Keep drawing these flowers until you feel comfortable with them before moving on to the next page. On to page number 3. Now that we have some basic understanding of our cherry blossom flowers, let's draw branches for the flowers to sit on. Pay attention to the balance of straight and curved lines and also how the branch is thicker towards the base and thinner towards the ends. This can be a little bit tricky at first, but with practice it will become easier. So copy from the examples on the worksheet and don't be shy about erasing. Take your time and draw some flowy lines across the branches to give it texture. Make sure to follow the direction of the branch with these lines. Let's draw some flower guidelines onto our branch on the bottom example of our worksheet. Pay attention to how we draw clusters of these guidelines in certain areas. Creating some areas with more flowers will make the drawing look prettier. Copy from the example. Practice these 2 steps in your sketchbook until drawing branches and guidelines feel easy and natural. Take your time here. Doing extra practice here will make the next step much easier. So take your time, and when you are ready, I'll see you on the next page. Let's combine everything we have learned to draw complete cherry blossoms. Start by planning out the branches, draw the guidelines, then fill in the flowers. Erase away the guidelines once you draw the flowers. One useful tip here is to lightly erase your guidelines before drawing the flowers so they don't stand out as much. Copy from the examples on the worksheet and then draw some of your own in your sketchbook. Feel free to start with a branch with a single cherry blossom on it to get used to drawing your own before moving on to branches with multiple flowers. If you want more of these cherry blossom worksheets, where we will also learn how to draw cherry blossoms with intricate and elegant petals, check out my flower drawing course over on jrom.art. We will also learn how to draw beautiful roses using worksheets just like these. The course will be linked below. If this format of learning is effective for you, then I will see you over there. And if you like this tutorial, make sure to share it with your friends. Drawing is a super fun hobby and even more fun when you share it with loved ones. I can't wait to draw with you again. See you in the next lesson. Bye.